Having won the fight to become DA, Kamala Harris had big ambitions.
It was like our second day in the DA's office, and a prosecutor was talking with her about one of his cases, and it was a sex assault case, and he was like, well, you know, the victim is a teenage prostitute. And I'll never forget Kamala just stopping him and saying, like, I don't know, I've never met a teenage prostitute. I've met exploited kids, but I've never met a teenage prostitute. And one of the first things she did was change that for within our office, saying every time you charge a case, it is exploited youth, not teenage prostitute. She was trying to shift the powers of the criminal justice system to say the people that should really get punishment for that are the people perpetrating on these exploited youth. The victims in these crimes shouldn't be the ones going to jail.
But her aspirations would clash with power politics and the reality of the streets.
2 undercover San Francisco police officers asked a suspicious-looking man to take his hands out of his pockets. The man pulled out an AK-47 and fired at least 11 rounds, killing Officer Isaac Espinoza.
The experience of that police officer being shot and killed less than 4 months into her term as district attorney was a life-changing moment.
A suspect, 21-year-old David Hill, is in custody.
We are in mourning over the senseless killing of Officer Isaac Espinoza.
We had not had an officer killed in the line of duty in many, many years. You saw a lot of pain in the halls of justice. Again, no matter if it was a police officer or a court reporter or a judge, these are very small communities. And so, you know, it was just a very difficult chapter. Kamala was really hurting too. She's a member of law enforcement. She'd served alongside with SFPD.
The cops wanted District Attorney Harris to seek the death penalty. But Harris had made a campaign promise not to.
There was a lot of pressure on her to do the politically popular and expedient thing and to seek the death penalty against the killer. And she held her ground. She held on to her principle.
Harris waits a couple of days and then announces before Espinoza's funeral that she would not seek the death penalty.
I have been very clear that I am not seeking the death penalty as district attorney. It is the will, I believe, of a majority of people that the most severe crimes be met with the most severe consequences, and that life without possibility of parole is a severe consequence.
The DA, Kamala Harris, is determined to prosecute this as a life in prison case. Police plan to protest outside her office on Wednesday.
The city police chief was highly critical of this decision. The police unions and the police officers were incensed. She would go into the Hall of Justice, and if cops saw her, they would turn their back on her. She was being shunned, literally shunned.
The funeral comes. The church is packed. Hundreds and hundreds of uniformed San Francisco police officers. Senator Dianne Feinstein gets up to speak. And at that time, Senator Feinstein was the most powerful and influential figure in California politics. And she says, this is definitely a case where the death penalty should have been asked for. The entire church, filled with uniformed San Francisco police officers, stands up and roars their applause. Sitting in the church is Kamala Harris, just months into her new job. If you are a young person, new into your job, and someone who is at the top of their game comes in and basically calls you out in public, in front of all the people you have to work with, police officers, you can't imagine how gut-wrenching that would be.
Harris stood her ground, but it would shape her approach to politics going forward.
Ultimately, David Hill is convicted and sentenced to multiple life sentences. So he's never getting out of prison, but he's also not on death row. That's where she's sort of becoming known for being a little bit more cautious politically. Over the course of the next decade, you see her sort of back up and be a lot more deliberate when it comes to making decisions that could potentially come and haunt her down the road.
That really changed her trajectory as a prosecutor. She became more unwilling to cross law enforcement, to be more defensive of law enforcement in ways that really angered some progressives in California.
She forged alliances with the police. She increased her office's conviction rate from around 50% to over 70%. She threatened parents with jail if their kids missed too much school.
Her years as district attorney are the source of a lot of criticism that she's faced and continues to face from progressives who saw her as too punitive with some of her actions and policies that she pursued.